Any thoughts, reactions?
Just keeps.
Very strong, right here, what I'm saying. And what I have serious doubts about, on one hand, I have serious doubts about how I would react and would really intriguing. You just get jumped on this kind of a pretty situation. But I also think that with the help of Christ, that in a time of stress, that I will be stronger than I think. That I'll be able to do more than I really think. Sergeant Johnson in boot camp told me that I'm stronger in many ways than I think.
Right.
I think maybe we would be hard to deal with.
And that's kind of part of the reason to look at this, is to see these just normal people who are put to the test.
I was just thinking that a bad day for us is when the air conditioning is working.
All right.
It's hot or I don't really like Brussels sprouts. You think those are bad days. And you go, oh my gosh.
I think that is a good point, though. You don't feel like such controversy. There's a lot of things that he's out there doing, that everybody's facing. But none of us can face that particular thing. God gave you the strength to get through.
And that's, I think, the important point. That there is, that to a certain extent, we are stronger than we realize, yes. But the bigger point is that there is one who is greater in us than is in the world. That ultimately it's not about our strength. Anything else?
I agree with that. Your immune strength is really out of that. No doubt. Right, you may exceed normal limits in exception.
Absolutely. What does the voice of the martyrs do to remember those who have died for their faith?
Put their names on a wall.
Yeah, memorial. Yeah, that's at their facility. So every day when they're walking in, they go by these names of those who have gone before.
And where is that? Is that the Marshall?
No. This is in the United States. It's in. I'd have to look at the paper that I printed out last week. I don't remember. Midwest.
I thought it was interesting they blended in Thomas.
Right.
Upside down. And
Right. People from the first century all the way up to. Yeah.
And I think that's. Let you see. I thought that was a good contrast. At first, I wonder what they spent on it. Those people's names, I think.
I thought the same thing. I tell you what.
Right.
That cost a lot of money.
Sure.
But then I started thinking, wait a minute. But that saying is,
Yeah.
you're not by yourself. So many martyrs have gone before you. That you get the strength.
Absolutely. We talked a lot about not family welfare. What would it be like to not know about the welfare of your family, if they're alive or not? Sure. And in fact, you don't even have a way to know. Very challenging.
I didn't know what was said. Devastating.
Devastating. How do you deal with uncertainty? He said faith. It's a good answer.
Faith and face it.
Faith and
Face it.
face it.
Yeah, face it is all. Whatever.
Pray. Kind of a tangible aspect of the faith. What was the woman's experience of hopelessness? And what gave her perseverance? I don't remember her name.
The husband was gone, so didn't.
Yes. Husband was kidnapped.
She tried to kill herself.
Right. What brought her to that point? Because her husband was taken.
She just
Right.
gave her phone call.
So then she went on the run. Right. She gave up on God. She said, well, Jesus, she was angry, she said, at Jesus that he had brought her to this point. So she tried to take her own life. But then what happened?
You have to be with other Christians to help her become strong again.
Yeah. And
She felt Jesus'
Yeah.
presence.
she had, I think it was really interesting. She said she didn't want to go to church. She's angry at God. That's a very common, reaction that we have. No, I don't want to go to church. Well, that's probably the place that's going to be best for you right now. Well, I don't want to. So her landlord made her go, insisted that she go. It's good to remember not only when we are those people who say, I don't want to, but also when we encounter those people who say, I don't want to go to church. Well, maybe you should. Come with me. I will pick you up. It's time to go. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the landlord in all this was heroin. She's losing income
Mm-hmm.
from this lady, but she didn't give up on her at all. She took her to the hospital.
Right. She was the one that she found her,
And
right?
took her to the hospital and ministered to her.
Yeah.
And she was doing a really good thing for her.
Right.
I wondered about the children. What happened to her children? Did you see a brother?
It sounded like they came with her when she tried to commit suicide. I would imagine that maybe the landlord probably watched them for a little while or something like that, or she was seems like she was connected to a church, so maybe the church stepped in a little bit. But the point was kind of she had gotten to the point where she didn't care. You know, it was just
fascinated by one of the things she said. I can't watch my children suffer anymore. I'm going to kill myself and watch them better suffer.
Right.
That doesn't stop people. So.
No, it doesn't. But it stops you from seeing it. And again, it's a very what's interesting about this whole series, I think, is it's very real. We're talking about real people, and this is not the tra la 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 la, and then it was bad, and then God did something. You know, this is real reactions to terrible situations. And yeah, sometimes people's reaction is, I'm mad at you, God. I am. Why didn't you do something? And yet God works through the situation as well. God restored her faith. And now she's able to tell others about this experience that she's had. How powerful is that to say, you know, I was at the lowest point. I committed suicide. I did not succeed. But God brought me out of it. What opportunity does this persecution give them? Or what opportunities? Say again? Oh, the persecuted Christians. These persecuted Christians. Maybe you don't see them as opportunities.
It's a chance to witness to others. share their experience.
Absolutely.
Everything through God's help. He can help you.
Right. There's something powerful about claiming a God who saves when you're living in a tent in a park, and having that joy that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. They're given the opportunity to choose faith every day, every minute, every hour. To seek God's strength for that next minute. But someone reads 2 Corinthians 11, 22 through 33.
Okay. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they Abraham's descendants? So am I. Are they servants of Christ? I'm out of my mind to talk like this. I am more. I have worked much harder, been in prison more frequently, been flogged more severely, and been exposed to death again and again. 5 times I received from the Jews 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was pelted with stones. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a night and a day in the open sea. I have been constantly on the move. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my fellow Jews, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at sea, in danger from false believers. I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. I've known hunger and thirst and have often gone without food. I have been cold and naked. Besides everything else, I face daily the pressure of my concern for all the churches. Who is weak and I do not feel weak? Who is led into sin and I do not inwardly burn? If I must boast, I will boast of the things that show my weakness. The God and Father of the Lord Jesus Christ, who is to be praised forever, knows that I am not lying. In Damascus, the governor under King Aretas had the city of Damascus guarded in order to arrest me. But I was lowered in a basket from a window in the wall and slipped through his hand.
So this is Paul. As Libby Welch always said, he was an arrogant Jew. But here he's boasting in what? In his weakness and his misery. He lists all of these things that have been done to him because of the gospel. And he boasts in them. This is, how wonderful is this, that God has brought me through all of these things. What does that take to boast in those sorts of things? Yeah, it does. And it's probably strong because of those things. Because when you're shipwrecked for a day and a half, or you're pursued in the city and in the country and at sea, you have to depend on God because there is nothing else. How about Matthew 10, 16 through 25?
Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be as wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils and flog you in their synagogues. And you will be dragged before governors and kings for my sake, to bear testimony before them and the Gentiles. When they deliver you up, do not be anxious how you are to speak or what you are to say. For what you are to say will be given to you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will deliver up brother to death, and father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But he who endures to the end will be saved. If they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. For truly I say to you, You will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. I didn't realize there were so many passages like this about, and I'm reading it through the eyes of these people.
We skip them over really quick. Yeah,
And now I'm thinking, my goodness, when they do this, they're bound to get a lot of trouble.
absolutely. So what does Jesus say about persecution? Yep. They hated me. They called me Beelzebub. So they're going to do the same to you. But what else does he say? When you're dragged before those courts, when Aram, is that his name? Whatever, is arrested for the third time by the authorities, why did they come before? Ultimately, are they coming before these people in authority? Okay, yes, that's the worldly reason. But Jesus said there's an ultimate reason why you're being pulled before these people. Yes, but it also gives those people an opportunity to hear. Why are you doing this? Well, because of Jesus Christ, and let me tell you about it. Think of all of the accounts that we have had of the apostles before the Sanhedrin. So what about this the Nazarene? Oh, well, we'll tell you about him. Right? And they're not supposed to worry about what they're going to say. Why?
Give you the words.
Give you the words. It'll be the right words. Yeah.
Verse 22 tells us something.
Okay.
Help me understand this.
Yeah, read it again for me.
You will be hated by everyone
Yep.
because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved.
Mhm.
Is that saying that the ones that don't stand to the end will not be saved? Because he came to save us in our weakness.
Mm-hmm. I think it's not the end, big E, ultimate end, but I think small e is a little bit of it. The ones who stand in these persecutions, stand committed to Jesus through it all, will stand. Now, where's there grace for those who fall at the end? I don't know. That's a good question, and I don't have the answer for that. I'm just in sales, not management. I don't have that answer. All I have is Jesus' words that say, "Those who stand firm to the end will be saved." So, well, I think God does take into account our weaknesses. It's a good question.
Save us from sin because we couldn't stand against sin.
Yep.
If I couldn't stand on the light without my faith, but I still had faith. What about that?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer. Good questions, but these are good questions to think about and ponder. We may touch on a little bit of that at the end, but not really the other side. So,
But it starts out saying be wise and discerning the serpent.
yeah.
That's why I'm.
Oh, from the. Oh yeah, no, I'm not a. I think outright saying I don't believe in Jesus Christ, that's probably not gonna. Yeah. I mean, you might slide into the radar. That might be wise as a serpent, sure. But outright lying, maybe not. How about Luke chapter 6, 27 to 36? Kathy got it. You can get the next one.
But I say to you that hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. To him who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from him who takes away your cloak, do not withhold your coat as well. Give to everyone who begs from you, and of him who takes away your goods, do not ask them again. And as you wish that men would do to you, do so to them. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same.
Those are challenging words too. Not only you're going to be hated and you're going to be persecuted to a certain extent, but those people who do that to you, love them. Yeah.
No.
Tough words.
Absolutely
Tough
not.
words. And it's hard to swallow. Revelation 6:9-11. For those who stood to the end. You have it? Okay.
And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they had. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them, that ye shall rest yet for a little season, until they follow servants also in their brethren, that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled.
So remember back, Revelation, we're in the courtroom of God. This is the first sort of play that's being brought before us, all of the devastation. And here the fifth thing, cup. No,
Seal.
seal, thank you. Couldn't remember if it was seals first, cups later. Fifth seal. And who do we have under the altar? The martyrs. These who have died for their faith, who have endured to the end. All the people up on that wall. And what are they waiting for? What are they asking for? Yeah. When are you going to bring judgment on those terrible people who did this to us? And what is the Lamb's answer? Wait just a little bit longer here. Wear these white robes. You will be the first in line. But just wait a little bit longer until the rest of them that will be killed for my name have come. And finally, or not quite finally, not quite there yet. Yeah. God's people have been persecuted and have gone through terrible things all throughout history. From the very beginning to even now. And yet God brings amazing things. We'll see some more of those amazing things, and I promise it gets better. It really does. Some amazing things that are happening right now. But even not under this kind of persecution, even just going into dangerous places. I watched a documentary recently. I was thinking about showing y'all, but it's too close to this, so I want to give you some time. But this is about Christians in, it starts with an S. Anyways, where there's a big infectious disease last year. Somebody came into Somalia. Yes, in Somalia. I don't remember the disease. Anybody? Anyway, okay, you know what I'm talking about though. So in Somalia, huge outbreak of this disease. Ebola, thank you. Ebola. Whole villages being wiped out by this. We actually started paying attention because there's a handful of people who came from Somalia and came to the United States and then went off for a wedding and came back and all that sort of stuff, right? And there was worries that it would be this huge outbreak. Well, anyways, somebody had gone in and went to Somalia to see what's going on. And for the most part, the Ebola outbreak is under wraps. There's little pockets and sometimes it'll crop up because it festers out in the jungle and people will go in, all that sort of stuff. But anyways, what's fascinating is the Ebola outbreak was brought under wraps by 2 Christian organizations, Doctors Without Borders and Samaritan's Purse. Those 2 organizations came in. World Health Organization just kind of went, I don't want to do anything about that. The Somalian government said, I have no idea what we're doing. But these 2 Christian organizations, who also really didn't know what they were doing, said, okay, we're going to go in. And we're going to help. And the church in Somalia is exploding because the people there have seen those are the people who come into danger and help. What's really interesting as well, that we see that little thing, but historians look back at, especially near the end of the Roman Empire, and one of the huge reasons, or not, I'm sorry, not the end of the Roman Empire, but before Constantine, one of the chief reasons that the church grew during that time, there was the martyrs, and people saw very similar stuff to this. But the other thing was, disease would come through towns. And often it was, it'd be like the common cold, but because just healthcare was not nearly as good, people would die from these things. But most of the time there were things where if you have water and can get fluids and are taken care of, you're gonna come through it. Well, an epidemic would start in the lower parts of these cities, and all of the upper crust people would say, we're going off to the seaside, and they would go away. Well, the church would come in. And one account says that they would float like angels through the city with, people vomiting and all that sort of stuff. And they were just bringing water and caring for these people. And lo and behold, most of these people actually recovered because that's all they really needed. And they come out and they see that the people of God, the people of Jesus, were the people who had come in and helped. God takes terrible things and does amazing things with them.
Think about the courage those doctors had.
Yeah.
Watching them when they contracted it. Right? You remember they brought them in along totally enclosed suits, and all of the other things. One did Atlanta and one Charlotte. Everybody's watching. The young doctor's wife and children left. Right? And they couldn't do anything. It's like he was like in a bubble suit. It looked like the marshmallow of the Michelin.
Yeah, Michelin.
In a big white suit. And both of them, the older lady, she was just on the verge.
Yeah.
Not, that's.
Yeah. Part of the issue with Ebola is the length of time that you could show signs. It's like 3 days to 37 days or something like that. It's crazy. But anyway, let me close as I did last time. End of Hebrews 11 and beginning of 12. And what more shall I say, for time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, obtained promises, shut the mouth of lions, quenched raging fire, escaped the edge of the sword, won strength out of weakness, became mighty in war, put foreign armies to flight, women received the dead by resurrection. Others were tortured, refusing to accept release in order to obtain a better resurrection. Others suffered mocking and flogging and even chains and imprisonment. They were stoned to death. They were sawn in two. They were killed by the sword. They went about in skins of sheep and goats, destitute, persecuted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in caves and in holes of the ground. Yet all of these, though they were commended for their faith, did not receive what was promised, since God had provided something better so that they would not, apart from us, be made perfect. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and the sin that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. For the sake of the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, disregarding its shame, and has taken his seat at the right hand of the throne of God. Let's pray. Lord God, be with our brothers and sisters under persecution. Help us to learn from their stories, so that in the small times of persecution that we face, that we may have strength and endure to the end. Hold us up by your mighty power. In Christ's name we pray.